We have now approached our closing quarter for today, and this is called Chit Chat with Manoj. Chit Chat with Manoj is a very popular segment on the Capital Forum. The host here is Mr. Manoj Singh, who is the founder and CEO of Caesar Productions. Each year, Caesar Productions hosts an amazing DC SAF program in the DC area. Back to our program today, where Mr. Manoj Singh has two well-known guests of the DC metro region. Their names are K.N. Vinod and Surfy Rahman. This conversation will rotate around the restaurant business.
Welcome to Chit Chat with Manoj. I am Manoj Singh. Hello, Adab, Namaste. Today we are going to talk about a very good topic, which I like, restaurant business and a dynamic partnership, business partnership. And joining me for this discussion today in the studio are Chef Vinod on my right and restaurateur Surfy Rahman on my left. Welcome to both of you. We all know in this area where they have owned two famous restaurants, Indique and Bombay Bistro, and they bring a modern Indian cuisine to us. And very soon you will see what they have for us today. Both their business, which it was Indique Heights as well, have they won many rewards, Zagat Survey, and also they have been listed in Washingtonian magazine as one of the 100 best restaurants. They have hosted many dignitaries, ambassadors, head of the states, and even some stars, Bollywood and Hollywood stars, and maybe we'll ask them about that. So here are two friends, Muslim and Hindu, and have a dynamic business partnership, very good partnership and friendship for 23 years, such a good role model for our society. So the first question I guess I want to ask is, and I'm curious, you want to name some of the people who visited your restaurants?
Normally, we would not like to give out the names of our guests.
Okay. That is fine.
But yeah, but we have had a lot of cabinet rank officers of the Obama administration. We have had Judge Sotomayor, and we had Hillary Clinton, and we've had the former presidents like President K.R. Narayanan, and we've hosted many VIPs. That's what I would say.
Yeah, and I have read about your name, restaurant name always comes up in Washington Post. Surfy, I had a question for you, and both of you can answer. So how has been the journey, and what is the key for success of our restaurant business?
Journey has been very interesting. As a matter of fact, I feel very blessed that we've been together for so long, and if anything at all, we are more fond of each other today than when we started from that time on. Barring a few speed bumps, which happen to all businesses, I think the journey has been very pleasant, very happy.
Any comments, Vinod?
So I fully agree with what Surfy says, and it's been a nice journey so far.
Good, very good. So things change with time, and we are seeing, in fact, even since I came from 80s, I've seen that decor changes. It's becoming more contemporary. More and more restaurants have come up with the fusion food, especially seeing Indian, Chinese. And so how do you keep up with the menu and the presentation? This is modern, I would say, which we have in front of us. And what is the most important element to keep that, sustain the clients you already have, and to bring in new people?
I think the first thing is to have a very open mind. So you look at new trends, you travel, read, see what other competition is doing, and we have got such a lovely cuisine, our cuisine which has evolved over so many years. So, and our cuisine is so varied from north to south, east to west, and things like that. So basically what was happening before is, when you walk into an Indian restaurant, the menus are very, very predictable. you can close your eyes and say, you're going to have samosa, chicken tikka makhani, and
Yes, it is true.
So
Yeah.
what we basically did was, when we said, hey, we have such a lovely cuisine, so let's bring in all regional dishes from the south, from the north, from from the coastal areas. So I'm from Kerala, so we put in a lot of dishes from Kerala, we brought from Tamil Nadu, and things like that. And then present it in a modern way. You know, so that's what I think basically we've done. That's
Any comments, Sophie?
I guess I am very privileged to be working with one of the most creative chef. My son has recently been watching Vinod do some of his stuff, and he says, "I see a mad scientist." Like his eyes lit up when he's trying to, come up with something new. And most of these dishes are very innovative and very and done with a lot of thought behind it. It's keeping the various elements in balance and keeping the health factor in mind. I'm very privileged that he's very, very creative.
I would agree. It's a art and a science. and we'll talk more about it. Myself and Geeta also watch the food channel quite a bit. Chopped and drive-in, drive-ins and drive. And lately, also, I've seen there is this food truck competition. Food trucks are becoming a little popular. So, what is the trend at present, and what do you see in next 5 years? Where are we going in this business?
I guess the Indian food is definitely becoming very popular, and a lot of non-Indian chefs are being seen as incorporating some of the elements of Indian cooking. Most of them are using spices. Some of them have medicinal value, those spices. So it's being used more and more. So eventually, and we are living in such a world today, which is everything is very global. So chances are that there will be a lot of interaction between Indian food and non-Indian chefs, and some of the elements will transfer to non-Indian food also.
Yeah, and I see that in everyday cuisine. Even on the food channel, some of them use all these spices like turmeric and jeera and all of that, which is interesting. And just in our time, I've been here since 80s. The grocery stores carry now so many Indian dhania, the coriander and cilantro, mango. All this was not there when in 80s.
very true. I think in 85, I remember when I came to organize the Festival of India, we had to bring everything from New York, all these things specially ordered. Now, almost every grocery stores and things they're carrying. There's much more awareness of Indian cuisine.
Yes, I agree.
Than what it was in the 80s when we came in.
Yeah. Now, this is an interesting question, and you can see my tummy. Two buzzwords are always organic. Nowadays, everything should be organic because, people think about long-term effects or diseases like cancer or something, and then calories. Indian food was supposed to be oily, like butter chicken and all that. So how can I have good Indian food and still have less calorie and be conscious about health?
I think first and foremost that all these years what we've been trying to tell people and educate people is about our cuisine, saying that we have to remove these myths about Indian cuisine that they are oily, they are spicy and things like that. I tell them, for example, you can have all the spices but keep away the chilies, and still have that abundance of flavor. So, for example, one of the dishes that we have here, saying healthy. I was talking about the First Lady, Michelle Obama, has got this program for healthy eating in schools. So, I had the opportunity to teach 4 schools in Fairfax Public School through Google Hangout. So, where we are demonstrating. We did an Indian dish, so what's healthy, how we can do with less oil and what have proteins and carbohydrates. And for example, the salmon slider. See, sliders become very popular, people are having sliders all over. And this salmon slider we've created is, salmon is good for you, it's got omega-3. And instead of using bun, we have used uttapam. Uttapam is a savory pancake, which is made of lentils and rice. So which means it's got proteins and carbs and naturally fermented. And instead of using tartar sauce, which has got egg yolk and cream and things like that, we have used hung yogurt instead. So I've been pitching this dish to the Obama administration. We used to have their advisors and people who would come to bring Michelle and try this, to bring the first
Very
lady.
creative, very creative. I like that. So, any comments? Surfy?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, a lot of people sometimes stay away from Indian food because of these myths that they are very rich, there's a lot of ghee used and stuff like that. Even though lately, I mean, ghee has been sort of exonerated, so now it's not so bad. But not all Indian food has ghee and or clarified butter or whatever. And our food, people are recognizing that by nature, we use a lot of vegetables and stuff like that, which is healthy. And it doesn't necessarily have to be immersed in too much of a spices. I mean, just lightly tossed vegetables are becoming very popular. And, I mean, another factor was initially most of the Indian restaurants were started by the North Indians. So majority of the dishes used to be from North India. But now more and more there's an effort to bring in some Southern Indian food also. And that is very healthy also, particularly with the use of the coconut oil and stuff like that.
Nice. One of the challenges I see is, I go to a same restaurant and I don't know whether it's the mood of the chef or the chef changed. The same dish sometimes, tastes different. So how do you, do you keep the quality and consistency? I mean, that must be a big challenge.
See, what we have tried to do is, we have tried to train our staff to make things in a batch. So we train and show them, okay, you're making this much of chicken, you use this much. So every time it's consistent. So that has really worked for us. Even we have trained some Hispanics. They make excellent food because we show them, like, you make this batch of butter chicken, for example, you say you add so much of tomatoes, you add so much of this measured. So they write it in Spanish and keep it and they train them.
Essentially standardizing the recipes.
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah. One of the interesting shows we watch on Food Channel is Chopped. And whenever they get the basket, they open and there's, a weird combination of things, at least in my viewpoint, because I'm not a chef and I maybe don't understand. So how do you complement these different ingredients and come up with a dish? Is there something you learn in the culinary school that certain things complement each other, or if you do this, that, then it creates a next dish?
See, as far as Chopped is concerned, they try to put the weirdest ingredient, to make the show interesting. They put a candy and they try to put something in. So it does. That comes by experience. People who have worked in the industry and worked over the years, you come to know what to combine and what tastes go together and what to bring in different textures and tastes. And it just comes by experiences.
Okay. Interesting. So, today I had requested Vinod and Surfy to maybe come and introduce some of their cuisine. These are in front of me. They've been tempting throughout the show. I'm dying to eat them. Appetizer or even tapas style. So I'll let Vinod introduce these dishes and also how to, I guess, what are the things which went into it and how to quickly make them.
Okay. Here we have crab popped cones. Crab, as you know, in Maryland is very popular in Maryland, crab cakes and things like that. So we have done it, we have made a popped cone and then we made a crab cake with desi style, right? With shallots and cumin and then we have topped it off with some spiced coconut. I grew up with a lot of coconut. So what you do is when you take this, take one. And just bite into it. Go ahead. So you get the crunch from the popped, and then you feel the heat from the coconut at the top, and then gradually. So it's again, it's different textures and tastes. So this is a very popular dish here. Achari tacos. This everybody talks about tacos. You go have. So here we made a spicy pickled chicken. So we're using fenugreek and mustard and vinegar and and we put it in a tortilla. So the argument may be, hey, tortilla is Mexican, man. This is, but you know that in Punjab, I don't know how to tell you that makki ki roti and sarson
Correct,
ka saag. So it's a cornbread basically.
Yeah.
So this is another very popular dish. That one I just said about the salmon slider. It's basically instead of bun we used uttapam and we got the salmon. And we serve it with a nice spicy tomato chutney. So we have several dishes like that, and then we see what's the trend. We even serve things like veal cheek or pork belly, or we do shepherd's pie, our lamb shepherd's pie, Kerala shepherd's pie won the award last year at the Restaurant Association. So we won, both of us went to Chicago. We had a free trip for that.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, that's an Irish dish, and I love it when I go to
so we
Irish
give an
restaurants.
Indian twist to it.
Wow.
We put curry leaves and coconut, and we put our own Kerala style shallot potato dish with that, and combined it and made a very interesting dish. So we have fun in the kitchen. We play around, and I show it to Surfy, and he says he likes it, and then show it to some of our regular customers, and we put it on.
Well, call me next time.
Absolutely.
So, well, that is it for today. Any last minute comments or recommendation you would like to make or talk to the Washington DC Metro audience?
Well, we want to thank the community for all the support all these years, and we shall continue to strive to do our best. And thank you. Keep coming to the restaurant.
And what I would like to say is we have a great cuisine, a cuisine which has evolved over the years, and we should be proud of it, we should promote it, and it's not just the job of restaurateurs and chefs. Every family should invite the American friends, show them, show your cuisine, from different regions, and be proud of it. And let's make it one of the best cuisines in the world.
Thank you, both of you.
Thank you.
Cheers, bon appetit, goodbye, all the best, and like I always said, life is short, have fun, and enjoy good food.